Good morning, everyone. Welcome back, Anonymous Biker USA. First time here at the channel, hit that thumbs up, consider subscribing. This channel is about moto vlogs, product reviews, moto news, moto documentaries, all things moto. Just want to do a quick chat on the DCT. I never had a DCT before this Honda Goldwing 2021. Never wanted a DCT before this, but if you saw my other video on why I got this bike, it will make sense to you on why I now have a DCT. So I've been on this bike since June. It is now almost November. So I have a pretty good feel of how it shifts, when it shifts, and I will have to say overall impressions of the DCT after getting about 5,000 miles in on it is works like a champ. Now I just got off my Indian Scout, so as soon as I got back on this bike, my first inclination was to grab the clutch and shift the gears with my foot. But after a mile and a half, 2 miles, that slowly goes away. So the DCT, when you're riding on the highway, I mean, makes zero difference if you had a manual clutch versus a DCT, because highway riding, I mean, you're just rolling along in 5th or 6th gear anyway. You do not have to downshift to pass. This thing overtakes traffic unbelievably. If it's in tour mode, which I usually keep it on when I'm on the highway, or econ, absolutely zero issues. The shifting through turns such as this one, super simple. I mean, it goes from 1st to 4th, boom, instantaneously, and it's smooth. The only thing that may rattle you when you first try it is sometimes it will shift in a turn, and when it does that at first, it catches you off guard. You go, whoa, geez. But as you learn the bike, it doesn't really take you off. As you learn the bike, it doesn't catch you by surprise any longer. So tour mode, econ mode on the highway, zero differences from a manual. I mean, because you're not shifting much on the highway anyway. Now, twisties, short roads, back roads, does it make a difference? I ride this thing in sport mode when that happens, and the amount of torque this generates, I find that it shifts exactly when I would shift. Actually, probably a little more precise than I would. And it's made me become a better manual shifter by paying attention to the patterns of the DCT shift, if that makes any sense. So it's actually taught me to be a little more efficient with my shifting. As far as downshifting, when you come up to a light, this thing will downshift, and it's almost going 1 mile an hour 0 before it gets down the first gear. So you got to get used to that before you put your foot down, because you might feel a little squirrely at slow speed. However, with controlling the brake and the throttle, you can manipulate that fairly easy. And the nice thing is, I know it's not a clutch, and I know it doesn't have a foot shifter, but you do have the ability with this little gray button right here to put it in manual mode, so you can treat it like a paddle shifter. So you still do have manual control, so it's the best of both worlds. So do I like the DCT? I gotta say yes. Do I still like the manual? Absolutely. And if you can have both, I think it's awesome, because there are some days you're like, you know what, I'm gonna take the DCT today and let it rip through the gears and enjoy the ride. Some days you're like, you know what, I want that visceral feel, I want that control, I want to pull in the clutch, I want to shift with my foot, I want to rip through the gears. I get that too. So I'm all for either one, but I never bash the DCT. Totally understand why people ride it. So if you've ridden it, let me know what you think of the DCT. If you haven't, Is it simply just because you haven't, or you're against it? And if you are against it without riding it, I'd kind of like to know that. But if you did ride it and you don't like it, let me know that too. So just a quick little opinion thought on the DCT by Honda. So I'm coming to a red light here. 3, 2, using the back brake, and you almost get the downshifting takes an adjustment. Tour mode, watch. 2500 RPMs, 4th gear. 3000, 5th gear. 2500, 6th gear. 2500 and 60 miles an hour. It still stays in 6th gear. Now, if we take the mode, right? Now I'm in sport. So it grinds those gears out a lot longer. Did you hear that? So now I'm at 2500 RPMs, 4th gear, right? 3rd gear, downshifting. There's no traffic here. Here comes some traffic, but 2nd gear, watch how fast, see? RPMs all the way up to 5,000. It carries the gear a lot longer. So much more torque. Now we're coming up to a roundabout, right? So we're in 5th gear, almost 3,000 RPMs, 35 miles an hour. Yield, let's get in this roundabout here, right? Woo, this thing's engineered awesomely. See that? 4,000 RPMs. Now as I hit the brakes, boom, 3rd gear, 2nd gear. It downshifts a lot faster. Sport mode on this DCT is pretty awesome, I gotta say. Let's see something here. We'll downshift. Alright, let's just make sure. Alright, so look at this, right? We're on a slight incline, maybe 10 degrees in the sport mode. I mean, just listen to that. It just shifts so efficiently. Now we're at a red light. Let's change the mode. I never use rain because it drags out so long, which, I mean, rightfully so if it's in rain mode, but let's go Econ, okay? So now Econ, we'll just go from a stop at this red light. I'm going to ride it normal. Gotta love that remote windscreen. Electronically adjustable. Perfect day, 63 degrees and sunny. There goes a BMW GS 1250, all adventured up and ready for the day. Actually, you know what? Let's go sport mode from a red light. So now we're in sport mode. Put this back up so the wind doesn't get you guys. So when that turns green, I'm not going to drag race it, but let's get to the next red light swiftly. I mean, this will go 0 to 60 in like a nanosecond, so 3, 2, 1. Come on. Come on, green light. Any day now. Alright, ready? From dead stop. See that? Sport mode? Amazing. Now, Econ, right? Switch it on the fly. It shifts a lot faster. You go from 4th to 6th, 7th immediate. So depending on what kind of riding you do, the DCT really does adjust to how you ride it. You know, the modes make a huge difference. Alright, so now look, we're in rain mode, even though it's not raining. And you'll see the throttle response is so much slower, right? It just like rolls on. The torque is a lot lower. So we're at just 2,000 RPMs, 6th gear, 45-ish miles an hour. Now if I slow all the way down, slow down behind this car, right? And I want to punch it, right? Watch. See how much longer that takes to get up to speed? And rightfully so, it's doing its job, right? It's exactly what it's supposed to do. Now one more time, let's compare that. Here's tour mode. Let's slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Do the same thing. Roll on the throttle. A little quicker, similar fashion. Makes sense, right? Tour mode, highway, just cruising along, cruise control. Now, one more time in sport mode. You ready? Slowing it down and go. See how fast that shifts? Oh man, sport mode is nuts on this. Let's get a better run at that. That red light, I didn't know if it was going to change. Ready? See, it barely switches gears and I'm right on this guy's butt. I need more of a runway. But you get the gist. Those of you who have DCT, you know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to relay non-DCT riders, if they've never ridden it, just kind of what it's like. So hopefully I've done a half decent job. Let me know in the comments. Actually, you know what? This guy's turning, so we got some runway right here. See now, look, downshifting, boom, green. Check the intersection and go. You see that? Up to 75, that quick. I mean, nanosecond. Everyone always says the slow speed maneuvers are harder on a DCT. Is that true? That's a debatable question. It is definitely different when you have that clutch control. You definitely feel like you have more control, because sometimes in slow speed maneuvers the DCT will downshift on you and it could, whoa, kind of jolt you and throw you. But there are workarounds. Most people, from what I've heard with the DCT, put it in rain mode when they're doing slow speed maneuvers, because it's a lot slower throttle delivery and it feels like they give them better control. So let's just do this. We're in a parking lot, right? So we're in tour mode. Let's just do some slow speed maneuvering on tour mode, right? And actually using the back brake. Pretty standard, pretty easy. Let's do a little circle in the parking lot, right? Little throttle, head and eyes, back brake, tour mode. Not so bad. How about a little weave between these spaces? See, that just shifted there. That's a little weird. That's in tour mode. So you got to watch how much throttle you give it so it doesn't shift on you. So that does take getting used to. Now let's go down to rain mode. So now we're in rain mode. It's the lowest of the throttle. Whoa, see, that shifted again on me. That's weird. But let's just try a little circle here. It's in second gear. Normally we'd be in first, right, on a manual. Now it downshifted to first on me. So here we are. Head nice. Much tighter circles, and whoa, and it shifted on me. See? You gotta get used to it. So it's definitely different. Is it harder? So far for me it is, because I'm used to that throttle control with the clutch. It's a different ball game. And it does jerk you a little bit when you... So let me go back to I'm not sure if sport mode's probably even jerkier, right? Yeah, I can feel that just wants to shift, so I'm not even going to do it. It's tour mode. Let's just say this is a U-turn you got to make right here, right? So, yeah, see it shifted. So it's in second gear. Let me get it down to first. Let it automatically shift down to first gear. Alright, now it's in first. So the trick is to go slow enough that it stays in first gear. Because you don't have that throttle control. You just got to keep it in first gear. Make sure you don't give it too much throttle to where it wants to shift mid-turn. So see, that was a little more delicate. It stayed in first gear. So like anything, it's a learning curve. The more you do it, the better you get. But it is definitely different. I prefer having a clutch in that situation just because that's what I'm used to. But I'm sure the more I do it with this, that jolt shift though, mid circle, man, that can be a reason you go down. Now, one thing I didn't say in the parking lot that you can do, you can use the paddle shifters, put it in manual mode. Then I have control of the shifting, which will eliminate that shifting mid-turn for you. So that definitely is an option. I just wanted to do it with a DCT to see what happened. So the manual mode, you can override that. So let's so I'm in drive, right? Push the button in. That's drive, okay, and then if I push it in now, I'm in manual mode. Alright, so now I am shifting with the paddles. And then the downshift is with the minus button on the other side. Alright, so. With that being said, so this parking lot's kind of busy. I'm in manual, but let me go back to tour. So I just want to see if I can eliminate that Alright, so I'm in manual mode, right? This parking lot's too busy. Can't really... And then there's gravel all over the place. Well, let's just try it right here, right? There's a little area. Alright, so there's your trick. Put it in manual mode and do your slow speed maneuvers. Yep, put it in manual mode and do your slow speed maneuvers. It eliminates all those issues. Let me go in a bigger parking lot and try it. Alright, so look, right here, right? So I'm going to downshift manually in tour mode to 1. Yep, there's our answer. That's in tour mode. Let's see in rain mode. A little even slower throttle delivery. Make sure no trucks are coming to load. Alright, I'm on the throttle and the rear brake. Slow speed circles. So there we go. What we want to do, you see this little button right here? It's got the A and the M. Once you hit that, manual mode, and you see this drive right here, look. Now it's in manual mode, now it's in drive. So for slow speed maneuvers, I highly recommend on the DCT, the manual setting, rain mode, and you're good to go. See, we just learned together. At least that's my opinion. So, it's not a lot of work, it's just a different sequence of events, right? Something else to learn. So thanks for exploring the DCT and the auto manual and slow speed maneuvers and my thoughts. Don't forget,
I am Anonymous Biker USA.